So very, very important, I have mentioned before, is nutrition. We have the Philippine Plan of Action for Nutrition called PPAN from 2017 to 2022. So one of the activity that you're going to do is where we are right now in the nutritional status, especially of Tacloban and the Philippines as a whole. So all local government unit, all regional offices have to follow this Philippine Plan of Action for Nutrition. So the PPAN Action for Nutrition should address the nutrition situation to guide all of us who want to be involved in nutrition action, because eventually you'll become a doctor, no? And you will become part of the healthcare system, and lay out targets, directions, and priority actions. If you will notice, every year since 1974, there is a Philippine Plan of Action, just like there is national objectives for health. Okay. Remember, 1 gram of fat is equivalent to 9 kilocalories. 1 gram of carbohydrates is equivalent to 4 kilocalories. And 1 gram of protein is equivalent to 4 calories. Okay? Hello? Yes? Any problem? So recently, we have na dapat trans fat tayo, no? Because we know that generally recommendation for a healthy diet, carbohydrates should consist mostly of the complex types of starches, which is 90%, and simple carbohydrates like sugar should make up 10% of the total carbohydrates intake. Pero ang nangyayari ngayon, puro sugar, no? Lalo na puro food panda. Okay? Puro na lang lahat may sugar. And saturated fats raises blood cholesterol, and saturated fatty acids should be less than 10% of the total calories, such as the animal fats, butter, oils, egg yolk, and whole milk. So, 449. Later may computation kasi to. So, polyunsaturated fatty acids should comprise about 10% of calories, and monounsaturated fatty acids make up the rest of fat intakes, about 10 to 15% of the calories. So, our cholesterol intake should be no more than 300 milligram per day. So titignan niyo yung titignan niyo yung mga label, no? And sodium intake should be no more than 3,000 milligram or 3 gram per day. Sa iba, kaya pa ng 4 grams. Eh, ang Jollibee lang, ewan ko. I-google nyo nga kung ang isang burger, ilan ang sodium niyan. Or ang isang, mahilig kayo dun sa maling. Ilan kaya ang sodium ng maling? Okay? So, generally, impaired and high fasting blood sugar increase with age. And that is happening to me, to your Mamuji. Grabe. There was I think it was, I don't know, Saturday, I was in the hospital kasi sobrang sakpang ulo ko. Yung nakakain ako ng betchin. Sobrang dami ng celebration ng birthday. Tapos, lumabas yung result ko, fatty liver, grade 2, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, high uric acids. Okay? So the prevalence of high total cholesterol average 7% for men and 13% for women. Bakit kaya mas mataas sa women ang prevalence of high cholesterol? Why do you think mas mataas sa women ang prevalence ng high cholesterol? Any guess? Wild or not? Wild or simple guess? Bakit kaya mataas sa babae ang prevalence ng high cholesterol? Kahit sino pwedeng sumagot.
Hormones.
Ha? Yes, Shermy, Dr. Amago.
Dahil po, Dok, sa hormone.
Yes, it's because of hormones. So, parang nawawala na yung mga estrogens and fats natin na good estrogen and progesterone. So, because of this, mas mataas ang chance ng mga babae na magkaroon ng uh, high cholesterol. Thank you for that. So, women are almost, because another reason is women are almost twice more likely to be obese than men. Talaga? So, prevalence of obesity was highest among men in the 30s and 40s and among women in the 40s and 50s. Kaya kahit ano minsan, anong-ano mo magpapayat, parang hindi pumapayat yung abdominal obesity. So, less than one-fourth of adults had work-related physical activity with little variation by gender and age group. So, obesity is people of all ages and backgrounds face these forms of malnutrition. So, obesity is also an epidemic. So, malnutrition is not only loss of protein or calorie, but also obesity is also a malnutrition. So, more than 1 billion adults are overweight, and at least 300 million of them are clinically obese, and an estimated of 17.6 million children under 5 are estimated to be overweight worldwide. Okay. So, the plan formulation process is that engagement of a team of consultants with funding support from the micronutrient initiative, yung mga iron, mga micronutrient, and then desk review, key informant interview, focus group discussion, consultation workshop, and NNC technical committee. So these are the 6 major nutritional problems to address. Stunting and wasting. Anong difference ng stunting and wasting? Which one is chronic malnutrition and which one is acute malnutrition? Ano ang chronic malnutrition? Stunting or wasting? Hello? May kausap ba ako? So, acute malnutrition is wasting. Stunting is chronic malnutrition. Thank you, Dr. Margallo, for trying, no? So, yung stunting, pag mga putot, marami bang putot sa inyo? No? Parang maraming putot sa first year, na mga And wasting is acute malnutrition. Tandaan nyo yan, ha? So, another is deficiencies in vitamin A, iron, and iodine. Nakakalungkot kasi kahit nasa tabing dagat ka, marami pa rin yung may goiter because of iodine deficiency. No? So, these are the micronutrient. Of course, overweight and obesity, poor nutritional status of pregnant and lactating women, poor infant and young child feeding, and hunger and food. So, if you will look at this, no, para itong tinatawag na, what you call this, problem tree or, so, bakit nagkakaroon ng maternal and child undernutrition and death, no? So, magsa-start ito dun sa, there is really a social component, socio-economic and political context, no? What is happening to Africa, what is happening to Myanmar, no? And then, because of this, there is lack of capital and both financial, human, physical, social, and natural. So, hindi lang financial. Pag sinabi mong capital, hindi lang financial but also human capital, no? And then physical, social, and natural. Leading to income poverty, affecting the employment, self-employment, the dwelling, the assets, remittances, pensions, and transport. So as a result of that, either there will be household food insecurity or unhealthy household environment and poor health services, resulting to an interchange of the inadequate care. Pag household food insecurity, inadequate dietary intake. Pag unhealthy household naman and environment, nagkakaroon ng disease. Okay. So, ano ba ang pambansang pagkain ngayon? Ha? Anong national food natin?
Isaw.
Filipino. Ha? Isaw.
Noodles po, Doc.
Noodles, no? Yan na yung palaging parang karamihan sa atin kasi yun na lang yung mabibili mo sa less than 10 pesos. So ang nangyayari, marami tayong problem with renal diseases or kidney diseases because of the hidden salt in noodles. Made of talaga, karamihan niya para tumakam, I remember, no, when I was working in the community, yung iba nilalagyan, kumukuha lang ng bato sa mga dagat para may tapos nilalaga nila yan para maalat-alat na lang. And then they have the soup already. So ganun yung kasi because of food insecurity. At dahil naman sa mga health problems, marami pa rin ngayon kahit sa Tacloban, ang walang mga what you call this? Walang mga CR, no? Hold on. Sorry, may nag-positive kasi na nandito sa hotel. What was my question? Yung pambansang pagkain, no? So, tapos, even in the context of especially in highly urbanized city, in mga urban areas, mataas ang malnutrition. So hindi mo pwede masabi na nasa city ka, wala kang walang malnutrition pero madami. At ang problema sa ang problema sa urban center, both malnutrition and obesity. Okay. So, by 2025, they have different targets. Kaya very important ang nutrition kasi it cut across maternal, infant, and young child. No? The prevalence of stunted children, ang baseline is 33.4. Kailangan by 2022, 21.4 na. So, maybe you can search kung sino makaano is how much is the prevalence of malnutrition ng 2019. Kasi baka hindi nakapag-compute ng 2020 because of COVID, no? And then prevalence of wasted children under 5 years old should be less than 5, and children 6 to 10 years old should also be less than 5. Second is, di ba, 6 yun, to reduce micronutrient deficiencies to levels below public health significance. So the baseline is 20.4. So prevalence is of children 6 months to 5 years old with vitamin A deficiency. Kailangan less than 15. Kakalungkot nga nilalagay na lang yung vitamin A sa face pero dapat iniinom para sa mga bata. And for the anemia, sa mga mother, of course, women of reproductive age, kailangan is 6 rather than 11.7 as against the baseline. Okay. For the iodine deficiency disorder, dapat should be less than or more than 100, no? Pregnant women is less than or more than 150 and lactating, no? So even mothers needs the iodine supplementation kasi ang sinasabi nila sa pregnant at saka sa lactating mom, it affects the brain, no? The brain and the function ng bata, especially kung kulang ng iodine, no? So also, they measure the percent of the iodine through the urinary iodine concentration of less than 50 microgram per liter. So, dapat pag sa bata at saka sa lactating should be less than 20%. Okay, ito parang ang hirap, no increase in overweight among children, reduce overweight among adolescent and adults. So, children under 5 years old, dapat less than 3.8 lang ang overweight. Tapos sa children, less than 8.6. Sa adolescent, less than 5. Adult should be 28 yung BMI. I think this is BMI. So before we continue, you know all your weight, di ba? You know your weight. So mag-ano lang tayo from the, you know your weight. Paano ba yan? Dapat sa no? Kaya ba yan dun sa, ano ba yan? You compute your weight in kilograms and then your height in centimeters, and then convert it into meters. For example, how will you convert your, kasi di ba, kung 5'5 kayo, we'll have, kuha kayo ng ballpen tsaka papel nyo. We will have some practice. So, kung 5'5 kayo, meron pala tong chalkboard, di ba? Whiteboard. Okay. So, weight. Ay, paano yan? Paano ba to? So, weight in kilograms. So, your BMI is equal to weight in kilograms divided by your height in meter squared. Okay. Meter squared, dapat nakataas yung Basta meter square dyan. Okay, so for example, ang weight mo is, sabihin na natin, can you compute if I am, kanina nag-weigh ako, 56.8 kilograms ako. Okay. And then, my height is 5'2.5". Nako, sige, gawin na lang natin 5'2". 5, my height is 5'2". Okay. So 5 to convert ko siya into meter squared, 'di ba? So 60 inches plus 2, so that is 62 inches because 5 times 12 is 60, tapos may 2 pa na inches. So 62 inches times 2.54, ilan 'yan? Ilan 'yon? Sinong may calculator diyan? Ilan? 62 times 2.54, ilan?
165.
Ilan?
165.
165?
Yes po.
Tama yan? Ganyan, 165? Okay, because this is in centimeter, 165 centimeters, you require meter, di ba? So, it will become 1.65 meters. So, square mo siya, 1.65 times 1.65 is equal to, ilan? So, 56.8 divided by 1.65 squared or 1.65. Ilan? 1.65 times 1.65.
2.72.
2.72. So, 56.8 divided by 2.72.
20.88.
Ilan? 20?
0.88.
20 point o 28?
20.88 po.
Ha?
20.
20.88 po daw.
Underweight na ako?
20.88 po.
Hala, 20.6 to 21 na BMI. So, ang tiyan ko lang yung malaki at saka yung boobs ko. So, my BMI is 21, normal. Okay. So, I would like you to compute your own BMI and write it on your, write it in the chat box. Okay? Sige, compute your BMI, each of you, and then wrote it in the chat box. Titignan natin kung ilan, and then ilagay nyo pag, oy, 1.57 lang pala yung height ko, kaya nga, oh, sino nagsabi ng 1 point ano? So, anong aking BMI? 25.56. Nako, 31.8 si Baljun, Artuige, ano yan, obese. Pakilagay nga kung more than ano na kayo, 30 is over, ha? 31.8, ano yan, obese class 1 na yan. Sige, para alam natin kung ano. Okay. Dapat nasa ano natin to sa menti-menti. Wow! Wow! Dami overweight. Yes, yes. Aba, 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 aba. Naku. Po, naku po. Oh, maraming overweight pala eh. Hala, 25.56. Akala ko palang pumayat pa. Dr. Korea, overweight. Hala, si Chrislyn Tejero, 19 ka lang. Sobrang payat naman yan.
Opo, Doc.
Underweight na. Uy, Dr. Coritana, 18, Coritanis 19. Tapos si Sydney, 18.5. My goshnik. Marami palang malnourished sa atin. 26, 27, 22, Alcober. Okay. Yung iba, oy, Dr. Angeli Gabriana, 30.7. Huwag kayong maano ha, pag naano yung BMI nyo, okay lang yan. Yung iba yung ngayon, trend nga sa US nga, taba-taba, naka-two-piece eh. Dr. Belicano, paki-check nga kung lahat nakasubmit yan.
Okay.
Wag lang ako ha, sandali sa hotel.